AI is gonna take over everybody's jobs. It's gonna take your job, my job, his job, her job, everybody's job is gonna get taken over by AI. No, that's not what's gonna happen. I'm making this video because of a comment I got on one of my recent videos where the person was saying that AI is coming after everybody's job. Nobody's safe in the revolution of AI. And I highly disagree with that. So in this video, I'll be going over a big misconception that people have with the AI taking over the job market. So let's begin. A big misconception that people have with AI is that nobody's safe in the revolution of AI, that it's going to take over everyone's job. It's going to take over jobs of software engineers, over the jobs of marketers, over the job of even managers, which is just pathetic. I don't think that's the case. Will AI take over a certain types of jobs? Yes, it will. But that doesn't mean that's going to take over the job of the CEO or the next big manager at a big tech company. I get the sense of why people say that, but I just feel like it's a bit pathetic for you to think that AI is going to be taking over the roles where leadership is a big part of that position. I think that with the AI revolution, the job market will be split into two different categories, and they're going to be vastly different from one another. First one will be where the person is really good at their leadership skills, and the second one will be where the person is really good at paying attention to the details, and their technical expertise are way better than AI. Or if anything, they are the ones that are actually implementing the AI and making changes to the AI so it can better perform for the company. What I'm trying to say is that with the advancement of AI, what we'll see is, in my opinion, a big split between the types of jobs that will be open. On one side, we'll have people who are really good with communication and leadership and telling other people what to do. And then on the other end, we'll have people who are better at paying attention to the details and need someone to be in charge of the overall picture, because they are the ones that make building the building blocks of this big house. That's a metaphor. I think the reason why people are all of a sudden really panicking about this whole AI taking over the job market is because it's been about a decade or decade and a half where we saw a big rise in software engineering jobs and jobs related to the tech field as well. So from like 2010 to 2020, I'd say that's when the demand for a software engineer peaked and everybody was going into this field. So much so that now it's like a imbalance where there's a lot more people with a certain set of skills compared to the amount of people that are needed to perform the tasks of that skill. So there's like about 100 people for a single job opening, but they can only hire one person. And even that's gonna get shrink because of the revolution of AI, because now the AI can actually take a lot of the work of a software engineer and actually just be the one that's gonna execute the demands that come up for that position. And this is the reason why people are panicking, is because everybody's going for a software engineering degree. They have gone for a computer science degree, and over the past few years, the demand for a software engineer has slowly gone down. But what people are not noticing is that there's been an increase in demand for positions where a person has to take on the role of a leader. So a product manager, for example, would be needed a lot more in the future as compared to a software engineer, because now we need someone who has the ability to look at the bigger picture or not be so invested in the technical details of a project, as compared to before where we needed someone who was really good with knowing the complexity of a certain application and knowing how it affects the overall runtime of the app. Now with the advancement of AI, as we're gonna see AI get better throughout the years, that won't be needed as much anymore, but we will certainly need more people who are willing to take on the leadership roles, who know how to take the company to the next level, and who are okay with taking the risks to build something new or be more creative in that field. That's on the one side. But for most software engineers, I don't think most people who go for the software engineering career are ready to take on a leadership position. It seems like most of them, or most of you guys who are doing software engineering, you guys feel more comfortable with taking on the role where you have to pay attention to detail and just have to like work by yourself and not really be in charge of taking care of other people. And that's okay. I feel like this is gonna open the doors for new types of positions where we will need people who are better at paying attention to details rather than just being better with leadership skills. But the downside is that you'll either have to be really good with your leadership skills or you'll have to be really good with paying attention to details when it comes to taking care of a project. In my opinion, a person who is somewhere in the middle won't really last in the job market because you won't be really needed that much, because on the one side we have someone who's commanding the tasks to this AI tool, and the tool is basically taking care of everything in the middle, and then we'll just need like someone on the other end who can go in there and make changes to whatever the AI has created and make these like tiny changes which affect the outcome of the product with they affect the outcome of their product in a way which benefits the company a lot more than if they didn't have this engineer on the other side. So yeah, I feel like most developers are like somewhere in the middle, where they're not really ready to take on the responsibility of leadership, or they're like not too focused on all the details that come their way. They're still getting better at that. I know that most engineers do lean on this side, where they'll get into knowing the complexity of the application and knowing how to like make these changes which will make the application run better. Matter of fact, that's been like one of the major concerns that they've had with AI development, is that the AI doesn't really know how to code in a way in which we see an outcome where the space and time complexity of the application is running smoothly and there aren't as many leaks in the application. But I feel like as AI gets better, we'll need people who have a better eye of looking at these problems that come up with AI development, so that they can go in and make those changes themselves, or they can develop the AI tools in a way so that we get rid of those problems altogether. So then what that leads us to, if that happens and we do get to a point where eventually AI is fully in control of building an application, all we'll need is people who have exceptional leadership skills and are able to, I don't know who they'd be leading at this point. I guess they know how to like do better prompt engineering, but it's kind of confusing, to be honest, because on one side I'm saying that we need people who will be better at leadership, but then on the other end it seems like the better the AI gets, the least number of engineers will actually need on the team. So who would they be leading, right? So I feel like that's where the market is unknown, and we're not aware of what really new job openings that will come our way when that shift happens. Just like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, let's just say 20 years ago, before Google was a thing, we didn't really have software engineers, or even if we did, they were like on the low, and nobody was really paying them that big lump of money. It's only after Facebook happened and Google happened that the whole Horizon software engineer field became widely known and popular across the globe. And then the companies started paying software engineers a really big amount because they were in this competition where if they didn't have a software engineer on the team, then their companies started to fall behind and they wouldn't be able to stay up to date with the market trends. So I feel like in the next revolution that we're seeing in front of us, which is the AI revolution, new types of jobs will open up, but we're kind of in this panic mode right now because we are just uncertain about what those jobs will be. That uncertainty is what's causing everybody to go mayhem and just lose their shit because they can't imagine a world where a job which has been in demand for the past decade or decade and a half or 2 decades is all of a sudden going on the decline. And they're not seeing any other jobs on the incline at the moment. So people are like in this low area where they're just like not seeing what's gonna come. They're just making their opinions based off of the decline in what was in demand a few years ago. And I think that's normal. I think that does happen every now and then. The market shifts a little and people start to panic. That's where it's better to just stay calm and try to be practical about the things that are happening and just like make predictions on what types of jobs might become in demand in the future. And if anything, this is a perfect opportunity to look at entrepreneurship and try to build something on your own. But I get it, that's not for everybody. That's for a certain amount of people who are willing to take that risk. Most people will just have to shift their careers into a new path. Maybe look into marketing or, like I said before, product management. Basically, just like either pick up a new skill that is really technically savvy or pick a path where you'll have to become a leader. Hopefully this video has helped you out in some way, shape, or form. If it has, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already seen my previous video that I'm referring to, I'll make sure to put it somewhere on the screen over here, so go ahead and check that out. Drop your opinions in the comments below, and inshallah I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.